Hello, and good morning to you all from the Sunnyvale Reject from dark, early morning West Palm Beach. I can't think of a place I'd rather be than right here hanging out with you guys. Thank you for your time. Today, I want to talk to you about the very best books I've read in 2025. It was difficult to narrow it down. I wanted to hit 30. I only read 27 books. Please forgive me for not sticking completely to my TBR. I'm a teacher and I have a lot of responsibility, like designing lesson plans and grading papers at home. Oof. I did the best I could. And I know you did too. Let's spark a conversation in the comments. Let me know what you read, what you loved, what you hated, and what you have to put off till next year. So, my TBR, look at it. Oh boy, that's pretty rough looking. I had to make some changes. I swapped some books in and out. And you know what? Those were the books I read. This is my TBR, actually. The yellow lines are the ones that I read that were actually off my TBR. Oh boy, I swapped a bunch in and out because things happened, like I discovered Peter Straub. Oh, which reminds me, I'm reading Coco now. There is a fly on the ring light. I'm going to try to keep it from getting in the video, but if it does, forgive me. But Coco by Peter Straub, my God. I guess it's about 4 buddies from Vietnam. Let's see, there's Tina, Underhill, Mike, Connor, Harry, and then Peter. So about 6 guys from Vietnam. Boy, they had it really rough at this one spot called Le Phuc. And, after the war, they come home, they try to assimilate. They do hang out every now and then, but not too much. But one of them didn't make it home. And there's a bunch of killings going on, specifically reporters who reported on that incident at Le Phuc that I told you about. These reporters are showing up dead, and they think it's Tim Underhill. Or could it be somebody using his name? We don't know for sure yet. There is a lot of twists and turns. My favorite character so far is Maggie. Maggie Law. I like her a lot. Underhill, the writer's pretty cool too. But in all honesty, I'm on page 399 and I haven't finished it just yet. So, man, I can't wait to finish this book, really. It's brooding and dark and atmospheric, and there's a hint of the supernatural. And also, as soon as I finish this, yes, I'm going to dig into mystery. I can't wait. And then I have The Throat. I have first edition copies of all of these books, but I'm reading these paperbacks so that I can get them off my shelf and put them in somebody else's hands that might want to read it. So, yeah, Coco's definitely one of my favorite books of 2025. I wasn't necessarily going to start there, but I did. And like I said, it was hard to narrow it down. But Peter Straub, Coco, definitely one of my favorites of 2025. We'll see what the Blue Rose Trilogy has in store as we read it. I only DNF'd 2 books this year. One was like a middle grade book by Joan Lowry Nixon. I think it was called Haunted. I just couldn't tolerate it, And the other one so far is Robin Cook's God Player. Let's see, I got about 86 pages into it. And nothing happened. It was kind of stale, so I picked up another book and, well, c'est la vie. I put it down and I never picked it back up again. Will I? Who knows? I'm not sure. Okay, guys, let me pause for a second. There is a fly buzzing around. Let's kill him and we'll get back to it. Only 4 knew what it meant. Now they must stop it. They are Vietnam vets, a doctor, a lawyer, a working stiff, and a writer. Very different from each other. Now they are nonetheless linked by a shared history and a single shattered secret. Now they have been reunited and are about to embark on a quest that will take them from Washington, D.C. to the graveyards and flesh pots of the Far East to the human jungle of New York, hunting someone from the past who has risen from the darkness to kill and kill and kill and kill again. Yes, they think they can find Coco before the police. Okay, we are back. The fly is indeed dead, and hopefully there was just one of them. That's my fault for leaving the door open for just 2 seconds yesterday. Okay, so Peter Straub, Coco, one of my favorite books of 2025. DNF'd God Player by Robin Cook. I won't even, oh boy, let's look at this guy though. Look at him. There he is. I won't mention what it's about. Look it up. Look it up. Okay. Where to go now? Where to go now? Okay. Let's go here. Betrayal. Yes, indeed. R.L. Stine's Betrayal. Have you heard of it? Have you read it? Are you an R.L. Stine Fear Street constant reader like myself? And a few other folks out there. I loved this book. This book gave the Fear Street series a real backbone to me. This is how the curse started, with the Fear Curse. It's a dispute between the Goods and the Fears, kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoys. The author does indeed favor the Goods in this dispute, and what happens will break your heart. And the dispute, the tragedy, the betrayal, it spans centuries, and it is tragic, and it is sad, and there's a lot of substance to these books. So in the Betrayal, you have, in this Fear Street saga, you have the Betrayal, the Secret, and the Burning, and they are all very, very fun and very different from the other Fear Street books you're going to read. So if you like Fear Street and you want a reason to have a vested interest in reading more, check this book out. Betrayal. All right, let's see. It's been that way for hundreds of years. Unspeakable horrors haunt those, pardon me, who've walked on its terrifying path, and it all started with one family, the Fears, 2 brothers, and they were rascals. You know what? I'm not going to read anymore. You got to find out what Benjamin and his dumbass brother did. The Goods were good people. Pay attention to names and titles. They do a lot of work. Okay, so that's the Betrayal. All right, got this stack out of the way. Where to go next? All right, let's go here. Mike's book reviews got me interested in Michael Crichton. That's right, Michael Crichton. And that's right, this is a first edition, first print hardback. Very nice. When I was reading it, I read the little book club edition that I got from Goodwill. You know, I bought that book twice. I noticed it because I saw it in a video twice. I think I saw another fly too. But yes, twice. Because I bought it and then I gave it back. I don't know if it was on accident or purpose, but I gave it back. When you think of Michael Crichton, you think, Jurassic Park, action, fast, action-packed thrillers. This one takes place in an office and it has to do with sexual harassment, the reversal of roles of sexual harassment. A company called Digicom is doing some shady shit, and a person, Tom Sanders, finds out about it. They bring in one of his former lovers. She kind of seduces him, and since she's in a place of power, she sexually harasses him. Well, he brings it to the folks' attention. They devise a plan to destroy his life. They don't give a shit about him. They want to destroy his life. And in defending himself, he finds out all these evil secrets about the company. There are some very, very strong women in this book, namely Tom's wife is strong, but in a very subtle way, because she doesn't play a big role in it, because her and the kid are sent away. Does he have a kid? I think so. Yeah, they're sent away, and so, but his attorney, Fernandez, she's the shit. She's strong. She doesn't back down, and she's a good role model. I promise you. If you're into legal thrillers, this one is pretty good. Not like a John Grisham. It's not just packed with legal jargon like a Grisham. I think it's well balanced. It's Michael Crichton's Disclosure. I loved it, and you will too. And it feels, this is a good looking book, don't you think? Okay. Let's see what it says here on the flap. A brutal struggle in the cutthroat computer industry, a shattering psychological game of cat and mouse, an accusation of sexual harassment. Oh boy, that threatens to derail a brilliant career. See, Tom thinks he's got it all figured out. This is the electrifying core of Michael Crichton's new novel, his first since Rising Sun. And when this was coming out, the movie Jurassic Park was coming out. At the center, Tom Sanders, an up-and-coming executive with Digicom in Seattle, a man whose corporate future is certain. Until, after a closed-door meeting with his new boss, a woman who was once his lover 10 years before, a woman who has been promoted to the position he expected to get. And it goes on and on and on, but that's it. He wanted that promotion, and he deserved it. He's got his allies there, though, don't worry. Pretty much everybody likes Tom, and you will, too. Yeah. It's Michael Crichton's Disclosure. Give it a chance. All right. Where to go from here? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm on an Anne Rice kick. I love Anne Rice. A couple of videos ago, I did a beauty series collection video by Anne Rice. I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi. New Orleans is just south of us, and she's a legend. Man, come on, give it up for Anne Rice. Her husband, Stan Rice, and her son, Chris Rice, and Mouse, Michelle. What's up? Rest in peace. Anne Rice is brilliant. This book is brilliant. It is so richly detailed and fantastic. I love Pandora. Pandora's kind of a badass. I did a real review on this 9 months ago. Check it out. I learned a lot about Anne Rice since then, but Pandora is, spoiled. Her father loves her. He's a badass too. And, she's educated and worldly. They're in Rome, and Tiberius is in charge, and he's going after all the senators that he thinks might be loyal to Germanicus, who is actually the heir to the throne. And so they come after Pandora's family. Her father gets 2 of his most trusted employees, guards, soldiers, whatever, sends them with Pandora out of the country to a safe place. And they're good people. They protect her. They watch over her. They keep her stuff safe. And Pandora, I think, is the first vampire that is created by Marius. They met when she was really young, and he wanted to marry her at like 10 years old, but her father said, hell no. I'm getting ahead of myself. I could go on and on about Anne Rice, but I'll shut up for now on Pandora. Get yourself a copy. This is a first edition, first print, of course, but I got this from Lemuria's bookstore. Pardon me. We'll edit that right out. So I got this from Lemuria Bookstore in Jackson, Mississippi, a bookstore that carries the first run of my book, Blame Forest, and I'm grateful for them. Get yourself a copy of Laughing is Forever and Blame Forest if you can. But this copy's also signed. Can you see it? I'm so scared to open it any further because I don't want to do any damage. My girl Anne Rice. When I got it, I paid how much for it? $50? Something like that. It's worth so much more to me. But this is Anne Rice's Pandora. Pandora begins reluctantly at first and then with increasing passion to recount her mesmerizing tale, which takes us through the ages, from Imperial Rome to 18th century France to 20th century Paris and New Orleans. She carries us back to her mortal girlhood in the world of Caesar Augustus, a world chronicled by Ovid and Petronius. Anne Rice does so much research. It's unbelievable. She's a trusted source. When you're reading her books, you can guarantee that when you're reading something, it might have a narrative on it, or it might have some opinion laced, throughout it, but she does her research, and you can bet that that's about as close to the sources you're going to get. It's Anne Rice's Pandora. It's one of my favorite books of 2025. Hope you're liking my list so far. We're almost done. I could pull one more off the shelf to add to these last 2. Take a good look while I take a little sippy poo of water. By the way, y'all, I'm 10 days sober. I've fallen off the wagon 4 or 5 times since I've really tried to cut down. I don't know if I want to quit drinking altogether yet, make that commitment, but 10 days today. Little sippy pool of water. I was at a circus last night. I may create a video, but the Garden Brothers Nuclear Circus kicked a little ass. I'm seeing more and more projects that deal with kids that have special powers or genetically modified in some way, and they're kidnapped or murdered or whatever, or sent to some institution where they are reprogrammed or watched in some way, hoping they'll be able to be switched on later in life to commit some atrocity. John Saul is one of the originators, y'all. The God Project is one of those books. I really loved it. People say he's a slow burn, and yes, indeed, he is. Here's something that I stress to my students all the time, and for all you writers out there, remember this. There are those books like a Sean Hudson, which I love. I love Sean Hudson. Death Day is a book I don't have, but it's definitely one of my favorites, and I want to mention that right now. I loved Death Day. I loved it, but I gave it to a student, and I don't have a copy of it, so I didn't bring it up. But you might have books where the action takes place very, very quickly, right? And you love it, right? You're into it. And others that are a slow burn where the action takes place in the last, 75 pages or so, or 100 pages, depending on how big the novel is. But sometimes those books can be more meaningful because they built backstories and stuff about the characters, and they've built worth. These characters are multidimensional now, and they're deep and have psychological depth and range, and you care about them when something happens. In the beginning of a book, the action may be very interesting and entertaining, but you can't really care about the characters at that point because you haven't had time to learn enough about them. Okay, it's the God Project. It's one of my favorite books of 2025, and I'm always looking to read him. I'll probably read The Manhattan Hunt Club next by him. For Sally Montgomery, life could not have been happier. She and her husband were blessed with 2 beautiful children, 8-year-old Jason and lovely 6-year-old Julie, the perfect family, until late one night, suddenly and without apparent cause, little Julie was dead. A victim, the doctors told Sally, of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, the insidious, unexplained killer that takes healthy children from their cribs without warning. For Sally Montgomery, grief was only the beginning of a terror that would come next. For Lucy Corliss, bitterly divorced and struggling to make ends meet, see, he's building their backstory. You can relate to these characters. You care about them. So that reward in the end, which you will get, they do come from Saul novels, it's worth working for, and it's more meaningful. And perfectly healthy, never a sore throat or scraped knee. But Daredevil Randy seemed troubled lately. Randy was healthy. He healed up if he got hurt at all, which he rarely did. One terrifying night last summer, he tried to run away to his dad's, and when Randy didn't come home from school one afternoon, Lucy assumed that her ex-husband had taken his son, for Lucy Corliss had not yet suspected the sinister truth. The sinister truth is they've been watching these babies for a very, very long time. They knew about their potential. They knew about the possibilities. It's the God Project. It's a brooding thriller. You're going to like it. Just give it time, okay? Don't give up. I promise you the payoff and the reward will come in time, and it'll make you want to pick up another John Saul book. And if you want to watch more John Saul reviews, I have a couple, but check out Nightmares Anyone. Richard Knows was friends and got like special manuscripts from John Saul. He has almost all of his books signed. So Nightmares Anyone, Richard, check out his videos on John Saul to get more in depth, but definitely one of my favorite writers. Literary horror, I mean, Peter Straub definitely is literary horror. Is this guy? I don't know. Sometimes they read like very, very well written, well plotted out, well developed YA thrillers and horror novels. Sometimes they read like straight up regular adult horror novels that are really deep and psychological. I have to pull one more book off the shelf before I get to the last book. It's School Spirits by Nicholas Pine, Terror Academy. If you've never read a Terror Academy book, you simply must. You know, people get their heads bashed in, run over by cars, haunted by ghosts, wigs split by axes, shot by 45s. They drink, they smoke cigarettes, they cuss. This is a step up from Point Horror and Fear Street. They're very hard to find. If you can find it, get it, you know, in good condition up. But they are very, very fun and fast paced. And I found myself really caring about the main characters in this book. A couple of them now have had strong female leads, which are pretty cool. I mean, they're, you know, sometimes they make airhead decisions, not like Fear Street, because they're kids. And believe me, I teach 10th graders. I know all about that. But I think you'll really like it, and it could be a great filler book to keep the interest going in between thick-ass novels. School Spirit. Ever since the Central Academy Wildcats lost the championship game, the members of the football team have been acting strange. And cheerleader Cindy Prescott thinks there's more to it than just the agony of defeat. But what could possibly have turned the Wildcats, even her boyfriend too? No, son of a dumbass. Her boyfriend Todd into sadistic bullies who viciously terrorize everyone at Central Academy. And Central Academy is like Shady Side. Yep. Watch the show School Spirits. I've been watching School Spirits. And what do you think about Stranger Things, guys? Have you finished those first episodes? I'm loving it. I had to go back and watch the last episode of season 4. And then I watched the first, 4 of season 5. I'm loving it, and I hope you are too. A little break from the Sturm and Drang of everyday reality. Okay? This is it. I'll leave you with this book. Some may think I'm crazy for making this one of my favorite books because it is a wild ride, but it's Memnoch the Devil. It's Anne Rice's Memnoch the Devil. I told you this is all Anne Rice. I'm on an Anne Rice kick. I love her books. I love her writing. I like her. There's something very androgynous about her style, which I really dig, man. And these vampires symbolize alienation and loss and depression and fear and anger and a fear of death, but also the fear of the unknown and even being alive forever. Mortality, being alive forever. That's terrifying too, is it not? She was asked if Claudia from Interview with a Vampire represented her daughter, and she goes, how could I consciously sit at the computer and type away if I thought that was my daughter? But unconsciously, it must have been. Man, look, these books are deep as hell. This book specifically is really deep. You got the vampire Lestat, right? And he is stalking his prey. He stalks this dude, I think his name is Roger, for like 6 months, right? Before he lays into him. But at the same time, Lestat himself is being stalked by an unknown darkness, an unknown terror that he's actually scared of. And this dude, Lestat, doesn't know anything about danger. He is conscience bound to a large degree, as Anne Rice would say herself. But he's not really afraid of anything, if you know what I'm saying. He's afraid of this creepiness, this creepy thing that's coming after him. So, of course, he calls his boy David because he's being stalked, and he tells David about it. Well, after he kills Roger, guess what happens? Roger haunts him. He goes to a bar, and Roger's there. And Roger says, I need you to do something for me, homie. I need you to watch after my daughter and all this. Roger was a gangster. He may have been into drugs. He may have been into stolen black market art or whatever. Anyway, guess who's stalking Lestat? It's the damn devil. It's Memnoch. He's the devil. And he wants Lestat to be his general in hell. But he gives Lestat a choice, and he says, I'm going to introduce you to God, I'm going to take you to heaven, and I'm going to take you to hell too. You get to decide who is right and who's wrong in this debate. One of the fascinating things I took away from this that I always think about is that Memnoch says that God basically created humans and backed away from us and stopped caring, right? So their souls were earthbound, they weren't going anywhere, and they were of value, and they were being wasted. And basically they started to worship their ancestors, and they created their own realm. So God wasn't getting the souls, let's just say, that could have populated heaven to get that motor running, get that industry. He's in the business of collecting souls. Make of it what you will. But anyway, he says, I can go down there, I can preach the word, I can reach them, and they will know about you, because they didn't know. Even in Dante's Inferno, the people that didn't know about God went to a lesser circle of hell, right? Anyway, that's the gist of it. He drinks Jesus's blood, and he drinks another kind of blood, which I will leave you to discover and to make of what you will also. Blood. And anyway, it's a fascinating book. You're going to love it. I had a first edition, first print of it. This has a nice Mylar cover on it. But I gave it to somebody and then I regretted it, and so I had to buy it again. But Men Mock the Devil was probably my #1 favorite book of 2025, and I'm definitely always going to be reading some Anne Rice. But as you guys know, we have a lot of good books in such a short time to read them in. I can't think of anything else to say other than if you're going to read one book for Christmas, read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, but don't spend too much time reading. There's plenty of time for that. Spend time with your family. Hug them, kiss them, tell them you love them, tell them you're sorry. Reach out to some folks you haven't talked to in a long time. Write them a letter. Tell them you want to hang out with them again. Give somebody something to look forward to, and I swear to God, it'll come back around to you, and you'll be creating some good karma. It'll feel good. It'll make you, I don't know, man, you'll be able to sleep at night, maybe like you haven't slept in a long time. Peace be with you. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Like and subscribe, and tell your friends about the Sunnyvale Reject. Stay cool. Never stop reading.